I'm Thanh Bùi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you for having me on the show, and appreciate the kind words to begin this interview.
And a lot of people know you as an artist, and maybe know you as a business person. But would you prefer to be called an educator, a business person, an artist, or a father?
I prefer to be called whatever you want to call me. I mean, you know, as a public person, there are certain things you can't control, and I think the most important thing is just to. I'd love to break stereotypes and to not be pigeonholed into any one role. I think, and I think it's so important that, particularly in sort of a more traditional society like Vietnam, that we don't put labels on everybody. I mean, why can't you be an artist and an entrepreneur and a father and an educator and just whatever you want to be? So I think ultimately I am who I am, and I'm very comfortable with that. And I think to different people, I'm a different title. So I leave it up to everybody, but I do hope that people consider myself to be someone who's just a supporter of the arts, a supporter of education, and someone who really wants to fight for the next generation of Vietnamese kids.
Now, has this cause always been clear to you, or was it, you know, something in the making as you progress on through life?
Yeah, I know that there's always been this urge for education, this urge and want for the arts, because, you know, how much is it nurture and how much is it nature? And I can remember throughout my life that I've always had that opportunity to teach other kids in the class, sort of be like a big brother to my fellow friends and let's say colleagues in school. And just throughout my teenage years, teaching was something that I always was very passionate about. I think once you get comfortable with your achievements and you reach a certain level, I mean, you have a rethink about it, you know. And at this stage in my life, I've been so fortunate to have sort of lived 5 lives, and been around the world a dozen times, and I feel that now that I sit as a 38-year-old, I just realise that everything that I've experienced has allowed me to be in this moment and to be doing the work that I'm doing. So I just feel it's been a wonderful journey, and I know that tomorrow is an unknown, and I love the fact that it's an unknown. I don't know where tomorrow is going to lead me, or in another year's time, but at least I know the direction that I'm heading in, and I'm feeling very comfortable about that.
I'm seeing something behind you, anh Thanh Bùi. It says, instead of more like everyone else, and then there's something above it that says something, children become like something. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, well, the quote, let me read it, is art has a role in education of helping children become more like themselves instead of more like everyone else. And it's I'm sitting in my office at the moment, and I love that quote, and that quote inspires me every day. I mean, I think for us, my whole philosophy of why the arts is so important, why holistic education is so important, is that we can find our sense of identity. And my hope is that for Vietnamese kids, that they don't have to follow the path of their parents, of what the parents want them to do. I really hope that they can become their own versions, and that they can be the best versions of themselves.
For you, you know, like how did that love for the arts really develop? Is it because of Australia? Is it because, you know, you were born in your blood as a Vietnamese person? Like what generated that?
I think that's a great question. I mean, the way I see the arts is no longer the arts. I see it as creative education. And it should be about music. It should be about performing arts, about film, about visual arts. And I think we should see every art form as just as important as each other. And that, you know, it depends on the human being. Some people love, you know, visual arts. Some people are more sort of go towards performing arts, and some people love music more. It all depends on the individual. If you don't know what you don't know, and you can only know what you know. And I was so fortunate to be brought up in an environment that allowed me to experiment and to try new things. Even though I could have sucked at it, or be completely horrible at it, but at least I was given a chance to know, hey, Tan, that's not for you. Because I tried violin, and the violin sounded like a screeching cat. And I thought, you know what? I don't think violin's for me. But I had that opportunity. And I think ultimately it's the opportunity, the environment, your teachers and your parents. And what I was fortunate was that I was given the chance to experiment, to explore, and I was told that no subject is more important than another subject. I was taught from an early age that music is art, art is mathematics, mathematics is art, art is science. I was taught from such a young age about being multidisciplinary, but building, seeing connections in all subjects, not just becoming siloed in a subject, in a particular subject. Through the arts, I was able to discover the intersection with science. But more importantly, what it did was it got me to understand how to look from within. And when you play a piece of music, once you've mastered the theory and the technical side of it, you forget everything and you play from your heart. You play from your experiences, because your emotions become your music and your music becomes your emotions. And all that is nothing more than a mirror reflection of your life and of your own life experiences.
Thank you for sharing.